गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So we are looking at the verse number 53, avidya vritti tadatmye vidyayaiva vinashyatah. In other words, simple. When you avidya, vritti, when you get identified with the ignorant thoughts, all thoughts are ignorant, okay? Even the thought of the truth is also, if it is a thought and remains as a thought, it's ignorance. Vidya eva vinashyata. You move away from the self, meaning you have committed suicide if you remain with the thoughts. You have to be with the essence. Vikshepasya swarupam tu prarabdha kshayam ikshate. The ignorance of the self and the resultant wrong identification with the body, etc., are destroyed by the knowledge of the self. However, the elimination of vikshepa, that is, there are two words, avarana and vikshepa. Avarana is forgetfulness and vikshepa is the projection. Non-apprehension and misapprehension. Non-apprehension of the reality that I am the self leads to misapprehension that I am the husband, I am the father, I am the son, I am the etc. Or very simply put, I am the body who was born, who is going to die. This avidya, projection apparent, and its results expect the exhaustion of prarabdha karma. The avidya expresses as avarna, tadatmya and vikshepa. Avarna, the covering, the veiling, tadatmya, the identification, and identification leads to vikshepa, the result, projection. So, forgetfulness of the self leads to identification with the body, and that is the tadatmya, identification, and identification with the body leads to vikshepa, meaning now you start projecting that I am so and so, I am old, I am young, I am born, I am going to die, I am intelligent, I am unintelligent, I am father, mother, daughter, sister. All this is projection of your mind. And all this project, so therefore vikshepa is because of tadatmya is because you have forgotten your essential nature. Of these three, the first two are removed by knowledge. Out of these three, the first two, the veiling and the identification, are removed by knowledge. Vikshepa is the projection. That vikshepa, they will tell how they remove that. The avidya expressing as avarna and tadatmya will be removed by the vidya or knowledge. Vikshepasya swarupam tu prarabdha kshayam ikshate. However, the essence of the vikshepa, that is the prarabdha and the gross body, will go in due course, not all at once. See? Why did body come into existence? Because of some impressions, some desires, isn't it? You understand this much. Now you are in this body, in this world, and at this very moment. Once you are born. Now body is growing. Why it grows only in a particular way? Fat, thin, whatever. Why it gets disease only in only certain ones? Why is it not healthy like others? There's no comparison. It is unique structure. It doesn't look like anyone. It doesn't. All this is that uniqueness has come from where? From prarabdha, from some data which was stored before, isn't it? So because of that it came about. And is it going to be there permanently? No, it is going to go away after some time. So similarly, in your daily life also you see that today is waking, now I am exhausted, waking will go and lead to deep sleep or dream. It happens, isn't it? You can't keep breathing in. After some time you have to breathe out. You can't keep breathing out. You have to breathe in after some time. The change is happening automatically. So take it at a bigger level. If you are born, you have to die automatically. Someday it will come. You cannot remain eternal as the body. So it is going to happen. So avarana and tadatmya can be removed by knowledge. But the vikshepa, this part, it is going to die its own death in the due time. That you cannot do anything about. Hunger will still come, disease will still come. Even if you are sorted, you are no longer deluded, you are no longer identified with the body, but the body ailments will still come, hunger will still come, evacuation will still happen, breathing will still go on, the sleep will still come, waking will still happen. All this is not your doing, it is happening. This is what you understood, that is what he is telling here. How the gross body, which is the effect of prarabdha, continues to exist for some time when the cause for it is negated. So, prarabdha ki wajah se, due to prarabdha, you understand the word prarabdha, all of you?
Yeah.
So, because of prarabdha, what have you got? Be specific. Gross body. Mind is not because of prarabdha. What the body is going to go through, it is going to go through. Mind, you can fix it. It is in your choice. In body, you have got no choice. See? Continues to exist for some time when the cause for it is negated. So, when the cause, because of certain impressions, because of certain desires, we got this body. Now, in this body, in this lifetime, what will be the intelligent way of living? Let the body go through its course and come to its conclusion, so that there is no more any body. If you live like that, but we are intelligent, then what do? We create even more data. Who creates the data? The individual. Who is this individual? Who forgot that he is the infinite. And he creates more data. Then that data, meaning more desires, and that those desires, those memories, those convictions which he has not dissolved, he keeps collecting them, and they become the cause for future bodies. You understand? Sanchit karm ho jate hain. So, how do Mahatmas live? Or how do seekers live? Or should live? You live in this life, in this body, using this vehicle, but not creating any more memories. And that is why everywhere you go, the teachers give you one mala and mantra. That, okay, you want to create a memory, at least create a memory of God rather than the world. That's why the japa is given. But you are smart. You have developed another technique. What is that? From the mouth you are chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. In the mind you are thinking about your family, about the world. Not like this. So our life, this human body that we have got, the human birth that we have got, is a window of opportunity to sort everything out in one go. But instead, we are not ready to sort it out. We are collecting more data, And then we complain why this is happening to me. Why did I get this disease? You only programmed it last life, or in this life. And once, if this is the case that is going on, birth after birth after birth after birth, then sort it out, yaar. The only sorting is come back to being the self. And once you are the self, then the thought of the body, the identification with the body, with the past, with future, with relations, with possessions, your space-time objective, everything will become zero. Everything will become zero. Ramakrishna Parahans, Ramana Maharishi, our Ram Sukdas Ji Maharaj, they all were suffering from cancer. But did that affect their wisdom? No. Body is getting that. But when you are disidentified from the body, how does it matter? It's like, if your arm is cut and the maggots get into that cut arm, do you winch? Are you Margaret? It's lying there. It is deteriorating. It is stinking. You are not stinking. Maggots are eating it. They are not eating you. But if you remain, that is my arm and I cannot live without my arm and I need it. How can maggots eat it? How can it smell? You're talking. There's no solution for that thinking. So take our way of approach in our daily life should be do whatever is required to be done that is coming to you, not because of your desire. Whatever is presenting, deal with it joyfully, respond to it, don't react, don't get attached to what is coming, good or bad. And if you do that, then no memory will be created. And when no memory created, your mind is less cluttered. With that less uncluttered mind, or less, as your mind is getting less and less cluttered, expose such a quiet, less cluttered mind to satsang and allow transformation to happen. And satsang, I'm not only talking about coming to classes, I'm talking about being attentive of the self, or being attentive of the Lord in your heart. That is satsang. And see how transformation takes place. And what is the transformation? You'll be disidentified. Because the joy of being attentive towards the self or the Lord, it is intoxicating. It's even more intoxicating than getting intoxicated by the drugs. See? But the symptoms are similar. If you don't get the drug dose, you go steal, you're like fish out of water. You need that shot. We should be like that about the Lord's name or the self-attentiveness. But without the urgency. Urgency should be there, but without getting disturbed in your mind. There is no logic in your statement that after negation of ignorance, the avarna and tadatmya, etc., veiling and identification between jiva and kutastha are removed, but not the vikshepa called prarabdha, the gross body. So he says, upadane vinashtepi, kshanam karyam pratikshate, ityahustarkika tadvad, asmakam kinna sambhavet. Even though the material cause is destroyed, their effects continue to be for some time. Simple. Very gross example. Someone has gone to the toilet, stinking. They have flushed it away. Who was the cause? That person who went to the toilet. He's gone. But the stink, he has sprayed also. But the stink remains, afterward, for the next person. in the house, someone is cooking with garlic. खा लिया, you have, the dish is prepared, you have eaten it also, but the smell continues to linger in the house for some time. Correct? Exactly the same way is going to happen in your mind also. It will continue to linger. If you have taken the chandan and applied freshly rubbed chandan, if you applied on your forehead for 2-3 days, even you are taking bath every day, but the smell still, fragrance still keeps coming. See, exactly the same way. So here he says, even though the material cause is destroyed, their effects continue to be for some time. Chandan was the material, was the cause for the fragrance. That garlic was the cause. But effect continues to linger for some time. Thus declare the logicians. Similarly, our proposition made in the preceding verse can also be valid as that of the Tarkika, the logicians. Now what is he saying? The logicians accept that the effects continue to exist for some moments, even after the destruction of the material cause. Even after the material is gone, the effects continue for some time. If this logic is acceptable to the logicians, why can't it be acceptable to our statement that the gross body will continue for some time after the destruction of the cause, that is ignorance? Now he is comparing these 3 examples that I gave you to the self. So when the cause, the ignorance which brought about body identification, if that ignorance is removed, one is established in the self. Just like that garlic smell was lingering for some time, why can't the body and its effects linger for some time? Brahma Murari Tripuratagari. So why can't it continue? It's the same logic. Now we are being subjective, that was objective. So will continue for some time after the destruction of the cause, that is ignorance. Therefore, there is no reason to object that how can part of the effect continue even after the destruction of the cause and only a part of it is destroyed. So what was the ignorance expressing as? Avidya kama karma, or it was expressing as avarna, veiling, identification with the body, which led to identification with the body, and that led to projection. Now we have dealt with the avarna, the veiling, the hypnosis was removed through knowledge, and the identification with the body was also removed with the knowledge. The projection aspect of the mind, that will continue for some time, just like the fan will continue till even after you have switched off. Just like when the eye has stopped giving value to the thoughts in the mind will continue for some time till it comes to a stop. That stop may be while living, it may be with the last breath. But for many masters, it's while living also. They are absolutely unavailable to the body or its needs. Or I have met few of them. But for people who are watching, they don't understand. How can this man live in his own poo? In Gujarat, there is one person. I got the video somewhere. He's sitting, he'll do the poo, lie down there only. He has not taken shower for years. Another Mahatma went, gave him shower, cleaned him up. But he's a master. He's so disidentified with the body, he finds it difficult to even speak. That is, we can't even imagine as an individual, isn't it? How can someone be so disidentified? Yes, the logicians have accepted the existence of effect even after the destruction of the cause, but it is just for a moment unlike the existence of the gross body, which is for years. So the principle is the same. Body will last for some years. That fan will keep moving only for a few moments. But the principle is the same. Look at the bigger picture. How do you justify this anomaly the student is saying? Tanto nam dina sankhyanam, tanto nam dina sankhyanam, taista drukshana iritaha, taista drukshana iritaha, brahmasya sankhya kalpasya, brahmasya sankhya kalpasya, yogya kshana iheshyatam, yogya kshana iheshyatam. He says, the definition of moment referred by Nyayikas means the logicians, is for the cloth which has a very short life, that is the tantu. Tantu means the thread and the cloth. Hence, so they take that example. Hence, the moment has different meanings. In case of the topic under the discussion, the moment should be understood with reference to the delusion that has a standing of innumerable kalpas. So for a mosquito, a moment is very less. For a bird, many birds are there. Someone told me cockatoos live for 80 years, like human life. So their time span is like us. But some birds, the moment they give egg, after that they give up their body. Come to devatas, they are also having body. Gods, they also have body. For their time span is what? One kalpa, the whole cycle of creation. We can't even imagine that cycle of creation. Only theoretically we know. They are living it. Just like a mosquito cannot imagine our life cycle, 24 hours, or we live for 80 years. Just like that, we cannot imagine their life cycle. And they cannot imagine what is eternity. So we must be very careful. When we are talking like this, it is relative. So here he says, the meaning of a moment by the Nyayikas, logicians, is with reference to the thread of a cloth. Tantu is the thread of the cloth, the life of which is connected in the scale of a few days. But here we are talking about the elements which are the threads of the body. We are talking about the thoughts which are the threads of the mind. We are talking about the breath which is the thread of the life. It will take some time. Asankhya kalpasya brahmasya yogaha kshanaha iha ishyatam. However, when we are talking about the delusion or ignorance and its effects, such as the projection in terms of gross body for a jiva, which counts in innumerable ages, so where has the body come from? Is it only a product in this body, in this life? No, the cycle of life is, the prarabdha is continuing for how long we don't know. We are talking relatively, okay, yeah. For how long? What must be the reason that from last life you were what, and the life before that? So it's a continuous process. So that cloth is, you took the cotton, you made the thread and you used it in the cloth, and it can, after some years, it will just vanish. It will deteriorate and it will die. It will go out of existence. But body doesn't go out of existence in few moments. Jiva, which counts in innumerable ages, we must have a proportionate meaning of a moment suitable for the scale of millennia. And why we are saying that we should not take only this lifetime, but why other lifetime? Because there are enough examples who remember their previous lives. There are enough examples who tell you what their future life is going to be. Shirdi Sai Baba told, I am coming as 8 years later, I am coming as Satya Sai Baba. And he appeared. So the time scale is different for each one. In short, what is emphasized is that the ignorance, which is the cause for the jiva's life, cause of the jiva's life, since the unknown times, the meaning of a moment will naturally mean the total life of a gross body, that is, it continues to exist even after the destruction of ignorance. There is no logical fallacy. So what you say that it is not possible, it is kshanikam, no, you have to understand in the right time scale. What if the fan is stopping in few moments, the body should also stop in few moments? Arey, ye kya logic hua? It doesn't work. So the student says, should we say that the illogical approach of the logician is the correct method of supporting our standpoint and explanation? The teacher says no. Vinakshodakṣamam manam, vinakshodakṣamam manam, tairvrutha parikalpyate, tairvrutha parikalpyate, shruti yukti anubhutibhyo, vadata kinnu dushakam, vadata kinnu dushakam. He says, without the help of strong and effective means and authority of knowledge, which is able to stand the depth of inquiry, the logicians have vainly imagined the existence of effects after the destruction of the cause. However, for us Vedantins, speaking on the authority of scriptures, logical inquiry and experience, which is what is difficult to prove or refute, we can prove anything, we can refute anything. But here, not because we want to, what is correct. So what we are giving the reason for the above example, that after the destruction of the cause, the effect must also be destroyed. It is depending upon the time scale of that. Once the fuel is destroyed, the cause, the wood is burnt away, the fire goes away, isn't it? This is your experience. I put the gas off, the flame in the gas goes off. Now if that example is put, if I put the life off, there will be, I put the switch off in life, then life will not be there. Then the effect should not be there. But we don't see that. There the gas is gone off. But here, even after death, the body continues to deteriorate for some time. It will go away eventually, but it has its own period of deterioration. And that is what sometimes, this is one of the, like we have the 4 Vedas and we have 6 Upavedas, or we have the 6 schools of philosophy. One of the school of philosophy is Nyayikas, the logicians. Another one is Sankhya. Another one is the nihilism, which Buddha, that everything is nothing, nothing, nothing. So he is refuting the logicians. Everything is not logic. So logic does not take you to truth. It keeps you in the mind. It keeps you in the intellect. You have to get out of the intellect. And that is not possible by thinking. That is possible by thinking in such a way that thinking stops. And then you are not against thinking or no thinking. You are the witness then. But you have to come to the right conclusion. These logicians have merely imagined the existence of effect after the destruction of the cause without any authority that can stand the test of inquiry. The logicians have the instrument of logic as the only authentic means of knowledge. They lack the authority of the Vedas, etc. Hence, their logic cannot be accepted all the time on all the issues. Again, they do not accept the Vedas fully. Buddhists, nihilists, they don't accept the Vedas fully. The Sankhya, they believe that there is one soul per body and one Atma per body. They don't accept the Vedas fully. What is suitable to them, they take that. Whereas in Vedanta, we look at the overall picture from the highest absolute standpoint, and then try to decipher at the ground level, keeping in view all the 6 schools of philosophy, and we don't want to get caught up in this or that or this or that. Because, and therefore, when you see Adi Shankaracharya Bhashya in Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads, he will, every Upanishad, he will refute where it is required all the 6 schools of philosophy. And it's not that he is against them. This is the mindset of the people in the creation. But if you are a seeker of the truth, if you want to know who you are, then a little bit of appreciation and soft corner for these philosophies can be a suicide, because then those thoughts will come and hijack you. However, we, the followers of Vedanta Shastra and who talk on the basis of the authority of scriptures, logic in line with the scriptures and experience of the statement, what is difficult to refuse or establish? There is nothing difficult. The authenticity of our logic is based on the proper authority of scriptures and not mere logic. So, it is very important that we, when we study the Upanishads, rather than say that Upanishads are difficult, it is very complicated. Yes, it may be, because you are dealing with your mind. Mind is complicated. If you think it is complicated, it is complicated. If you take a step apart and look at the mind, it is like a crystal clear. It settles down by itself. Your approach to something makes it difficult or easy. Your approach to this satsang makes it enjoyable or do the countdown of the time. It's your approach. Same thing. What is your approach to your mind? What is your approach to your thoughts? What is your approach to your waking dream and deep sleep? What is your approach to your own essential nature? Oh, it is difficult to achieve, but you are already achieved it. You are already that. How can it be difficult? See, all this discussion that is going on, it is in the relative. It has got nothing to do with the absolute. And the more you get into it, the more confusion will come about. If we do not think according to the scriptures and come to the conclusion that the scriptures have come to, meaning Vedas have come to. If you think, so it is our responsibility how we mold our mind, how we orientate our mind to think like the scriptures are thinking. And if our conclusions are contrary to what the Vedas are telling, then the fault is not with the Upanishads. The fault is in our thinking. We must come to the same conclusion as the Upanishads. If there is any truti, if there is any mismatch, then the fault is ours. Then you correct it. No, I will find my own definition of the verses of Bhagavad Gita. Good luck. The standpoint of the Vedantins on the above topic is given now. What is, I have told you, but let's see what they say. Astam dustarkikai sakam, astam dustarkikai sakam, vivada prakrutam bruve, vivada prakrutam bruve, swahamo siddhame katvam, swahamo siddhame katvam, kutastha parinaminoho, kutastha parinaminoho. Let us leave the gamut of arguments with these unhealthy logicians. Let them talk about kshanikam and this and that fragrance stays back, that the fan keeps moving afterwards. Because then what is happening if we are thinking of that? Our attention is going on the fan. our attention is not on the self. In other words, our attention is on the movement of thoughts and the speed of thoughts or the momentum of thoughts or the quality of thoughts or the direction of thoughts in the mind. As long as we are caught up in these, some thought will hijack you. But where should be our attention? On being aloof from all that. Observe, but don't react. Let us leave the gamut of arguments with these unhealthy logicians. Now I talk about the present topic under discussion. So what has the student done? He was objective. He started going into the nitty-gritty and he went away from the topic of the self. He went into aham, idam, thisness, thatness. He went into avarana, vikshep and what was that? Avarana, tadatmya and vikshep. All that is at the prakriti level, at the mind level. Then we talked about, teacher was answering. But whatever answer you give for the doubts, some other doubts will come up. Somewhere the teacher has to say, enough. Because question answers cannot take you to the truth. Question answers, you must ask the questions which are valid. We are not saying don't ask questions, but be very, very careful that the questions that you are asking are a result of self-reflection. Questions asked out of world reflections can never take you to the truth. So the quality of questions when you are attentive of the self are of different nature. When compared to questions that are asked when your attention is not on the self but on logic, but on scriptures, but I didn't understand, but the Sankhya philosophy says this, in Bhakti Shastra it says that, your attention has gone away from the self. You're trying to compare. Come to the source. Be subjective. And in that subjective approach, the quality of questions will not be the way the student is asking. It sounds fascinating when we were talking about this, that, aham, idam, triputi, etc., etc. But that is not going to bring us to the conclusion. Now, coming out of this word battle against logicians, the teacher says, enough of exchange of logical arguments. Vadona lambyaha. Do not get caught up in vada. We saw that in one Narad Bhakti Sutra it came. Let me finally tell you the conclusion on this topic of identity of Jivatma and Kutastha. Just like Arjuna was arguing, he was giving logic, but was that, we are in chapter 2, you have done chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. You can, sitting here listening to the class of chapter 1 and chapter 2, you can see that Arjuna is wrong, isn't it? Can't you see you are wrong when you are talking about the world? It's very easy to judge others, very difficult to see it in yourself. He's giving all the right reasons, but in the wrong place. No, but what about you can think, oh, but this is all right about self-realization, that I am the infinite self. But what about love is there, isn't it? And so what is wrong if I am loving my grandchild? What is wrong if I am loving my children? Teacher क्या बोलेगा? तथास्तु, लगे रहो. You are suddenly the topic is of the essential self, and you are bringing in your children, your grandchildren, your whatever your possessions are, etc., etc. That means you are not with the topic, if those type of thoughts are coming and disturbing. So finally, what is the Jivatma and Kutastha? Jivatma also I feel I am, Kutastha also I feel I am. At a very gross level, I feel I am the body also, and I feel I am the consciousness also. Isn't it? Because who are we? unholy wedlock of consciousness and matter. It is not holy, it is unholy. But we celebrate birthdays. Contrary actions. What can we do? The oneness in the identification between the Swa and Aham, that is the Kutastha and the Chidabhas, the ever-changing, is born out of delusion and nothing else. The oneness in the identification between the Swa and the Aham. Swa is the Swatma, the essential self. Aham is the reflected consciousness. Swatma is, the Atma is unchanging. The Aham is always changing with every thought. One, I know, I is gone. I see, the I is gone. I hear, I is gone. With every thought it is changing. And it is, the ever-changing is born out of delusion and nothing else. This whole thing is the result of non-apprehension of the essential nature. If the identity between the Jiva and Kutastha is merely due to delusion, why do you see many erudite scholars not able to appreciate this? So, because of delusion, you feel I am the individual also and I am the consciousness also. Actually speaking, these two are absolutely apart. One is changing, one is unchanging. How can they be the same? How can they be the same? This you have to discover within you, that the Aham is continuously changing. But no, but I am Aham, I am that as the Kutastha, not as the father. Father is coming and going, brother is coming and going, son is coming and going. Man is the Kutastha, isn't it? Man is not coming and going. Similarly, what is that which is not coming and going within you? That has to be other than that which is coming and going. This Aham is only a vritti, is only a projection in the mind. Vritti is not real. Thought is not real. And that thought composition is Aham, Idam and instrument of knowledge. Subject, object and instrument of knowledge. All three are ephemeral. All three come and go. Just like the father, the son and the husband, all these three come and go. Man does not come and go. Similarly, these three come and go, but the witnessing self does not come and go. So where is the question, I am this also, I am that also? You have imagined that this I, which appears in every thought, the Aham, is a continuous one. Now who can correct you? You have to only correct yourself. Example we have given before, which when I say you will remember. If you take a sparkler and make it go around, sparkler is only at one place at a given moment, anywhere in that circle, in that circular motion. But you feel there is a continuity of light in the form of a circle, isn't it? Is that circle real? Is that circle real? No. That circle is the Jiva Bhava, the feeling of that I am an individual. But when you slow down your mind through japa, through watching breath, etc., through contemplation, through being attentive towards the self, this will slow down. As you slow down, you will say, Arey, yeah, the I is coming and I is going. Why am I taking myself to be the relative I as the real one? I am continuous only as the Kutastha. I can never be continuous as a Jiva. Right now, all of you are feeling, yes, we understand, but we are also Jiva. You feel that Jiva is a continuous entity. This Jiva as a continuous entity is an imagination. It is that imaginary circle which is not there. It is like that rainbow which is not there. It is like that mirage waters which is not there. And that which is not there, you have taken it to be real. Mithya Purusha. Remember, what were the three? Gaunatma, Mithyatma, and Mukhyatma. Mukhyatma is your essential self. Gaunatma is your virtual self, father, mother, daughter, sister. All of them are because of the body. Body is the Mithyatma. Mithyatma is illusory self. So this self called I, who was born, who is going to die, this is the Mithya. It is not Mithyatma. It comes in Pancadasi only, in one of the chapters. So that also is not real. How can there be two realities? How can you say Jivatma is also there and Paramatma is the Atma is also there? That means two Atmas are there. One is continuous and Jivatma is also continuous. Listen to what you are talking. Only one can be. There is only one reality. Then everything else we have to think correctly to cut them off. And hold on and be that which is indestructible. So whichever, the simple rule, Viveka means what? Discrimination. Discrimination is what? Differentiate between that which is constant and that which is changing. So is the Aham coming and going? Yes. Then it is not real. Is the waker coming and going? Yes, it is not real. Is the life coming and going? Yes, it is not real. But I don't feel I am coming and going. Then you are not, you are the reality. Which one? Find out. Then find out. Requires patience. Requires patience. No fluttering of the mind. You have to be absolutely attentive. And no emotions in there. What has to be dropped has to be dropped. And dropping does not mean not having thoughts of it again. Dropping means not reacting to it. Dropping means you are no longer attentive to it. That is what is called as dropping. So here he says, Bhramyante panditam manyaha, Bhramyante panditam manyaha, Sarve laukikatairthikaha, Sarve laukikatairthikaha, Anadritya shrutim maurkhyat, Anadritya shrutim maurkhyat, Kevalam yuktim ashritaha, Kevalam yuktim ashritaha. All those ignorant ones and the erudite scholars, disrespecting scriptural authority out of sheer foolishness and taking refuge in mere logic, end up in strengthening their delusion of identity between Kutastha and Chidabhasa. So they continue to emphasize that the infinite reality alone is the reflected consciousness. Is there the sun and the reflected sun, they are of the same shape, they are of the same form, they have the same attributes. The original sun gives you heat and light, the reflected sun also gives you heat and light, but in lesser quantity, but it is there. But is there any way you can establish relationship that both are the same? Can you? You remove the reflecting medium, there is no reflected consciousness, reflected sun. Exactly the same way. There is no connection between, there is no similarity. Similarity you can still say, but one is constant, one is changing. Both cannot be the same. So he's just talking about, okay, let's read. All those who are engaged in creating new sects and devoid of scriptural knowledge, and not only this, they consider themselves to be wise, although otherwise Such people, who are they? Shrutim murkhayat anadritya. Out of sheer foolishness, disrespect the authority of scriptures and try to propose new ideas out of their imagination. The result of such undertaking is kevalam yuktim ashritaha bhramyanti. Oh, low battery. Brahmayanti, they are depending on their conclusions, on the logical standpoint and nothing else. The logic has a knack that it gets changed as per the ability of the intellect and its sharpness from time to time. In the end, such people get lost in logical arguments and never come to any conclusion to practice in life in order to achieve self-realization. See, we are trying to dissolve the ghost called the ego. Correct? And what is happening around in the society? You watch. Krishna movement, Vitthal movement, this organization, this ashram, that ashram. They are bigger egos. And then we want to give up this. In order to give up this ego, dissolve this ego, we get identified with another organizational ego. Or another person, for that matter. You call him Guru, but you are attached to that Guru. You should be attached to the knowledge. You should be attached to the self. That Guru can teach you, he can guide you, but he cannot make you realize. And if any Guru says that, come, I'll make you help you realize or make you realize, run away from there. Don't waste even a moment. Bhago. The one who guarantees, bhago wahan se. You have to find out. It cannot be done in proxy. Nobody can do it for you. Like nowadays it's happening, no? In the YouTube, the Aarti is going on and you're just watching the Aarti. That is not Aarti. You give Dakshina from here. I give $500. And the Pujari in Nepal, he tells me, every year he calls, Shivratri के पहले, स्वामी जी आपके नाम से पूजा कर दें. मैंने कहा सारा पुण्य तू कमाएगा, मैं क्या करूँगा बे? I'll do my puja. You have to walk your journey. You have to do your puja. You have to do your meditation. You have to do your inquiry. All the other people who come into your life, teachers that come into your life, they are only there to trigger you in the right direction. But you have to do it. Nobody can do it for you. So when we say be empty in the class and let transformation happen, it's not that I am going to do it. I am using the words of the scriptures in a palatable way as a teacher. That's what my job is. Your job is to be empty. My job is also to be empty. Because if I am not empty, then I will put my words into the scriptures. I have to be also empty. Why? I am listening to myself. And in that empty mind where there is no I, the words are coming because if the speaker is speaking without I, it's happening, then the knowledge clicks. You become available to yourself because your attention is not on the words. Your attention is on the self. Words are only the carriers. They are indicating something. The word self is not the self. The word self will come and it will stay and it will go away. But what it is indicating, your attention is on that. That cannot, my attention is on the self in the teacher. अबे पागल है, अपना तो self ढूंढा नहीं, दूसरों में ढूंढ रहे हो. Cannot be possible. And this is what then cults begin, organizations begin. Then the statue becomes more important than the conscious self that you are. Then the organization becomes more. Yesterday only someone told, they are coming with me for the walk. Swamiji, we started one organization here and now I'm not with them, I'm not interested in them, but now I can't get out of it because we are the face of the organization in Melbourne. I said, good luck. See what happens? Now you're stuck. So are we stuck in the mind? Are we stuck in the objectivity? Or are we attentive of the subject, the true real subject? Or not only those who are ignorant about the scriptures, but those who have studied the scriptures are also seen to get lost. Now this is a bigger problem. Those who are ignorant, they can be improved. But those who have studied the scriptures and think they know everything, they cannot be improved. They are not available for anything. Purva paraparamarša, Purva paraparamarša, Vikalastatra kechana, Vikalastatra kechana, Vakyabhyasan swaswapakshe, Vakyabhasan swaswapakshe, Yojayantyapya lajjaya, Yojayantyapya lajjaya. Among those who are well read but unable to grasp the import of the scriptural statements, this is what I was just now saying, that the word self is not equal to self. It's temporary. The word comes, stays and goes. But what it is indicating is where our attention should be. So many places in the world and in many ashrams, they will pray to the scriptures. They will get very angry if you put Ramayana on the floor, and they have to be kept on the cloth and on your lap or on the table in front. And if you get up without closing it, or if you don't do namaskar when you open it, all this paraphernalia that is there. Some places you go, you get tired of all that. They'll carry it on their head. Before Ramayana is done, they will do the pradakshina and everything. Yaar, pad bhi lo. Ramayana is more important. In some places, Bhagwan Krishna and Arjuna's picture is not kept because, it is on the battlefield. In our house there will be battle if we put it in the house. I have heard it in so many houses. They ask this question. In some places they keep Bhagavad Gita in the altar, keep it puja. Only when someone dies they open the Bhagavad Gita. Another problem. Arey yaar, Bhagavad Gita is to make your life. That dead person is not going to benefit it. Hota hai na? I'm giving you different examples. What I have come across. That statue becomes more important. Last year I went to India. One couple took me to Vrindavan, and she has to take her Laddu Gopal with her. Laddu Gopal is that baby Krishna. He's standing, on the floor, and with one hand Laddu is holding. She has to take him. She has to wake him up. She has to feed him. And for that she makes the life of the entire family miserable. And I was traveling with them. Now my situation was same. I put my foot down. You do what you want with your Laddu Gopal. My Laddu Gopal is in my heart. He's saying, I am hungry. I'm going to the restaurant. You eat or you don't eat. Then very coolly. Nahi, Swamiji, you are like God. We will order the food and eat it. What about your Laddu Gopal? No, he is God. God is everywhere. जब जरूर है तब चेंज कर लिया. नहीं, अभी तो इतना टेंशन क्रिएट कर रहे थे, बच्चों को भूख लग रही थी. The kids were feeling hungry, and no, Laddu Gopal first. Hypocrites. And then she's been doing that for how many? Not 1 or 2 months, not 1 or 2 years. Last 20 years she's doing that. And then we had a satsang, just them and me, and we started talking. And then the question, what is the question? Swamiji, I do so much for the Lord for so many years. Why my mind is not quiet? The problem in the end is the same. Why my mind is not quiet? They have not understood the issue. They have just replaced one issue with Laddu Gopal. या तो सरेंडर करो पूरी तरह से लड्डू गोपाल को and you vanish. But they are no, you have to wake him up. No, I have to give him lunch. No, I have to give him bath. No, I have to. They are caught up in that only. Yeah, in Sydney, we went to someone's house, and she is a Devi Upasaka. Very nice person. She came with me to Kailash last year. छोटी सी है और powerful punch, full action. Very karmat hai, and does lot of puja, morning, afternoon, evening, and she will do everything. And this time we went for bhiksha after the lecture to her place, and just talking, Swamiji told her, don't be so insistent, everything will be okay, otherwise you will, it's a warning that if you continue like this, the children and the children and the husband, they will drift away from you. But Swamiji, I am doing so much puja for last 20-25 years. I wanted to hand it over to my daughter-in-law. I want my son to get married to such a girl who appreciates what I am doing, because this puja will continue. Someone has to continue this puja. So I was sitting there. I was not asked to, but I put my bit in. I said, you donate it all to a temple. Don't worry about it. They will take better care of your daughter-in-law. No, but it should remain in family. Then Swamiji said, then you be ready to suffer. That is the truth. Because you will destroy the family. Someone from America many years ago in one satsang I told you, she was sitting and she was crying in front. She was also goddess Upasaka. She was goddess, and her daughter, two daughters, they were not talking to her. Husband was not talking to her. They had given zero value to her. That she is gone case. And she was sitting in front of the goddess. Why is my life turned out like this? I am doing your upasana, I am doing your puja and everything. And from morning till evening she is going through that. And what is the solution for this? And she came back and sat on her computer, and somehow, God's grace or whatever, my website or YouTube came in front of her. And somehow she explored, and immediately she called me in Australia. And she said, Swamiji, this. I said, I can answer. In simple words, stop all the pujas that you are doing. Oh, but how can I stop? My goddess will be angry. I said, forget goddess. Right now your husband and your children are angry. You are not being normal, you are being abnormal. But I don't know if she understood or not. 4 or 5 times she called. Then I said, Swamiji was in America that time. So I said, Swamiji, you can meet Swamiji. So she met. Something call stopped coming. So everything must have worked out. But then when I spoke to Swamiji, he said exactly the same thing. Stop the puja. She said, then what I do with the vigrahas? Swamiji is saying, give it to the temple. Then you do manasik puja. When I given you one example, when Swamiji only told us, one person was there, one Kerala lady, she got married and her husband was a communist. And first day, not even they slept together. First day in Bombay, in 1-bedroom apartment, he says, I don't believe in God. There should be no statue. There'll be no lighting lamp. There'll be no puja, nothing. This girl started, young girl, first day, first shock. What to do now? She cried for 2-3 days, few weeks. After that, she said, I can't keep crying for the rest of my life. I love my Krishna. And One day she closed her eyes. Whatever she used to do with the vigraha, with the statue outside, the whole thing happened in her mind. And she created a closer relationship with the Lord in her heart and mind. Now, husband doesn't know. उसको सिद्धियां आ गई. Because of that because from outside he has entered into within. So has all these buffet of gods. Have they entered our heart or they are only outside? Till the food is on the table, it is not satisfying unless it doesn't go in and become one with us, isn't it? So how long are we going to keep the gods outside? The next step must happen. They must come closer. How long are we going to keep talking of the scriptures? They must go within and get digested. And that knowledge must percolate within our, as nourishment in our whole, in our entire mind. See? Among those who are well read but unable to grasp the import of the scriptural statements with reference to context, quote the unsaid meaning of the scriptural statements without hesitation to suit their own objectives in life. And there are some who have studied the scriptures all right. However, they have not gone further in their reflection on the earlier and later statements about the same topic to arrive at the final and correct conclusion. So we have all studied, but we are not, if we are not at peace with ourselves, if we are not abiding in our own consciousness as we are, as the self, then we are appreciating the scriptures at the moment, but we are not taking the next step, which is dive deep into it. Reflect into it. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Shravanam is listening, you are doing that regularly. Mananam is reflecting. If that so-called contentment, that abidance, that happy for no reason is not happening, somewhere we are falling short in our life. The next step maybe has not been inaugurated in our life of reflection or contemplation. However, they have not gone further into reflection on the statements about the same topic to arrive at the final and correct conclusion. All the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, they always tell you what is the ultimate, that is the self. We have to arrive. They cannot take you there. They are given the principles. What do these people do with this study in that case? Those who are teachers like us, those who are taking classes, Gita class, this class, that class, Upanishad class, they are doing the part, Ramayana part, Bhagavad part. It has become a profession. They charge 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs. You all know about it. They give you envelopes after the lecture. They say karmanyevadhikarakste and they give envelopes to collect dakshina. See? And we also feel guilty if we don't give. अरे यार ऐसे कैसे होगा? सब एक बार दे के देखो, $1 दो बस. Then see the Mahatma, he will not come next time to Melbourne. I'm giving gold coin. Experiment करना चाहिए life में. And see what happens. स्व पक्षे वाक्य भाषण alajjaya yojayanti api. Such people are like the devil quoting the scriptures. They utilize their knowledge of scriptures to support their own opinions, whether the scripture statements in its original quote has that meaning or not. Some people have asked me, how can Ramchandraji was a coward. People ask such questions. Why? He killed Bali from behind. How can he be God doing such unrighteous thing? क्या बोलेंगे? I'm leaving it to you. You feel that way about Lord Ram? Have you resolved that question in your mind? Huh? There is a question someone has asked. Maybe so many questions have come in this scripture in Pancadasi chapter 6, which you never even thought about it. So maybe you have never thought about that Ram, how can he kill from behind? That is not valor, that is not courage. If it is resolved, it is good. If it is not, then resolve it. So, some people have asked me, Swamiji, it is written somewhere that Ramchandraji used to eat meat. अब यार मैंने तो पढ़ा नहीं. And they quoted some verse from somewhere. I don't know where they made it up or what, I don't know. Not that I have studied Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana word by word. I have done Parayan, but not read word by word. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? He's a Kshatriya, he can do anything. It doesn't have to be. They utilize their knowledge of scriptures and sway away from the original meaning. In other words, they quote the scriptures to establish their own views rather than making their opinion change in the light of scriptural authority. So when we are studying scriptures here, when we are taking scriptures in Gita, Adhyatma Ramayana, etc., our attempt is always the same. Our attempt is to emphasize what the scriptural conclusion is. Not how this is, what scripture is saying is right or wrong. That is not my job. If this argument is taken, take the argument, but come to the right conclusion according to the text, whatever I am taking. See? But if I say no, I think I have to rewrite the Pancadasi. I think he has done some mistake here. then it will be a problem. I have to rewrite the Ramayana. The next example we see in Bhagavad Gita, where the warrior Arjuna quotes the scriptures in favor of his own decision of withdrawal from the battlefield. For an uneducated fellow, not uneducated, educated but unaware fellow, he will feel Arjuna is doing the right thing. Gandhi only said, if someone slaps you, give the other cheek to him. So Arjuna is doing that. But under what are the circumstances? What is the reason that both the armies have come in the middle of the army, in the battlefield? What is the context? You don't want to take all that into consideration. If your father slaps you and you say, Dad, give me one more, he will not give you, he will give you 10 more. So Arjuna quoted all the scriptures at that time, right arguments in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because why did he make the mistake without realizing it? Because I don't want, because instead of recognizing his identity, what was his identity on the battlefield? As a warrior. And what did he, when Krishna showed him whom he has to fight, he forgot his identity as a warrior and he took on the identity of a relation, and the breakdown happened. So when you take the identity, any Gaunatma, father, mother, daughter, sister, breakdown will happen. And it's an imaginary breakdown because these entities do not exist. Biggest joke is that one. All the emotions that you feel for your children and your partners, husband or wife, etc., all imaginary. What is the position of those who believe in gross existence, like Charvakas, about the nature of Atma? Charvaka philosophy is another. First it was logicians, I told you, Sankhya, logicians, nihilists, and Charvakas who believe what I see, hear, touch, feel, taste is the truth. There's no birth, there's no dharma, varma, sab chhod do. What I see, make merry, enjoy, live and make merry by whichever way you can. कूटस्थादि शरीरांत संघातस्यात्मतां जगुः लोकायताः पामराश्च प्रत्यक्षाभासमाश्रिताः कूटस्थादि शरीरांत संघातस्य आत्मतां जगुः. They say the Lokayatas and the Pamaras, that is the Charvakas who believe. And what is their belief? They are very, very gross oriented. Whatever they see, hear, touch, feel, taste is the truth. And those living at body level alone, who are dependent fully on the authority of senses, sense perception and the knowledge gained through them, declare that the assemblage starting from Kutastha to gross body together is Atma, meaning that the body the body is the Atma. It's like the parts. Sanghata is all the parts coming together. So all the parts coming together is the Atma. So just like we are, the cathode and the anode come together and light comes out. Is the light existing otherwise? No. Only when the cathode and anode come together, then the light comes out. That is the Atma. Because of the body has come together, therefore Atma. And where are we? They have the following understanding about the Atma. What is that? They consider the total assembly starting from Kutastha Chaitanya up to the gross body to be Atma. So witnessing consciousness, the substratum, the individual consciousness, the Jivatma, the intellect, the mind, the five senses and the gross body, everything is Atma. Such people are not only happy about their understanding of Atma, but also quote suitable scriptures to influence others to make them accept their viewpoint. Shrauti kartum swapaksham te, Shrauti kartum swapaksham te, Koshamannamayam tatha, Koshamannamayam tatha, Virochanasya siddhantam, Pramanam pratijajnire, to gain the support of scriptural authority for establishing their view about the body to be Atma, they quote the principle of Virochana as stated in the Upanishad. So they are quoting the Upanishad, but to get a desired result, not what is required. These persons quote the scripture statement to give authenticity to their own opinions about the Atma, what are those scriptural quotes? Annamayam kosham tatha virochanasya siddhantam. In Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, while imparting the knowledge to the student, the initial statement is Swa esha purusha na rasamayaha. The purpose of this statement is to show how from the pure infinite conscious existence, The whole world has manifested. Therefore, see Brahman in everything and being. However, these Charvakas quote this statement to support their own opinion about the Atma. Similarly, in Chandogya Upanishad, the Asura king Virochana misunderstands the gross body is Atma. Such statements are quoted by these materialists to make their point. So Virochana was one, Hiranyakashipu was one, Ravana was one. They were all well versed in the scriptures. They could quote better than you and me. They were well studied. But what is that knowledge? When Hiranyakashipu, when his brother was killed and his wife was crying, there is Hiranyakashipu Gita there, or similar teaching. He is giving her the highest Vedanta. Atma does not die. Why you are? I am, and life is very ephemeral, and everyone who is born in this creation has to go out of this creation one day, etc., etc., etc. But then, after that thing is over, she becomes okay. But he gets deluded that I know everything. I am not other than God. And his campaign begins that all God statues from all temples should be removed and my statue should be installed there. That is Hiranyakashipu Sthiti. And then his own son became the liberator for him. See? So are we like that? Are we like that? Quoting many people, you must have also done it, I have also done it, but not now anymore. But in the earlier days, I read here, I'll go and share it with others. I'll read there, I'll share it with others. Or if I go to a teacher, I have read something here, I have read something there. I'll combine the two and make up my own question because I'm thinking. But the answer is, if I read this text completely, answer is there. But I'm taking something from here, something from there. I'm making a gemishte salad, a mixed salad. And I want to be nourished. It's not going to be possible. One person came to me and he said, he was, what I was doing to others, he did to me. So 3 months I gave him, no 3 months, one and a half month. I just come to Melbourne that time. And new enthusiasm, young brahmachari, full of action, I studied 2 years in ashram, you feel invincible and questions come. And this fellow, he used to come with questions and I was answering, and I was answering, and I was answering. And he said, Swamiji, but I work in the daytime, I can only come at night. He used to come at 10, 11 at night. And he will be asking questions. And his questions, till today, they have not stopped. But till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and I have to start my day again at 5 in the morning. But I was patient. I said, keep doing, okay. You have come out of the ashram and you're in you're with the people and you see such an enthusiastic person. Yeah, oh my God, really wants to know this, that. But very quickly, the illusion was gone because I was getting tired. No sleep. And one day I said, okay, where am I going wrong? Because one day I told him, you are asking the same question again and again, man. He said, no, I am a genuine seeker. I said, yeah, I can't say no, you are not. Then you are a genuine seeker, then why you are asking the same questions again and again? And then I was thinking by myself that where am I going wrong? Because I can't blame him. He is being genuine. Then it clicked to me. He is surfing the different books, and whatever he doesn't understand, somewhere he is asking me again and again. So once I caught the cause, I gave him the Bhagavad Gita. I said, you take this Bhagavad Gita. I am available to answer your questions, but you study 5 verses of Bhagavad Gita every day. If you ask any question from other than those 5 verses, I will not answer. And if I ask you questions from those 5 verses, you should be able to answer. That will show me that you have studied. That bugger completed the whole Bhagavad Gita in 9 months. Every day he used to come to the ashram and have a discussion. That's commitment. See, this opinion is refuted by another school of Charvakas. We'll conclude. Let this Charvaka finish and Jivatma nirgame deham deha me deha maranasyatra darshanat dehatirikta evatmeti ahurlokayataf pare. Another school of Charvakas postulate that the Atma is something other than the gross body, as the latter is seen to die after the departure of the Jivatma from the gross body. And in this way, in this opinion of the Charvakas, the fallacy is that we see the death of the body after the departure of the Jivatma from the body. Therefore, the above opinion of the body to be Atma is unacceptable. So within them also they have got different standpoints. First one was saying that body is Atma. The second one is saying, no, how can body be Atma? Something is leaving the body. So body is not leaving, body is still there. How can the body be Atma? So that within themselves they have opposing views. In view of this, other schools of Charvakas postulate that the Atma is something other than the gross body. To establish their viewpoint, they put forth the following logic: Pratyakshatvena bhimata mataham Pratyakshatvena dhir dehatirekinam gamayedindriyatmanam vachmityadi prayogataha. Identification with senses and organs of actions to mean the self is evident from the statements like I speak, etc. Therefore, the Atma, which is other than the gross body, is to refer to the senses to be the self. So, when they say I speak, I hear, I touch, that means I means the seer, I means the speaker, I means the hearer, so they say senses are the Atma. Thinking की कोई end नहीं है. There is no end to taking a position. So they think senses are the Atma. The seer, hearer, toucher, feeler, taster, they are the Atma. And in this way, therefore, the senses should be considered to be Atma, which are other than the gross body. One may object to the senses themselves. Senses themselves are inert. How can they be Atma? The reply is Vagadhinam indriyanam Kalaha shruti shushruta Tena chaitanya me tesham Atmatvam tata evahi. We do come across the topics in the scriptures when the senses are reported to have engaged in arguments among themselves and themselves. Therefore, they are conscious, obviously. Hence, the senses are the Atma. So, again, quoting the scriptures to come to their own imagined conclusions. And then the examples are given in where in the Upanishadic literature we come across passages where we hear the senses were fighting and arguing with each other. Similarly, we see in the Kena Upanishads also the gods, which are representative of the faculties that we have, they are becoming arrogant of having killed the asuras, the bad thoughts, And then Yaksha Maharaj coming, the Paramapurusha coming in the form of Yaksh and teaching them the lesson and dissolving their arrogance, and eventually Indra comes and gets the knowledge. That is the Upanishad. So on account of this, these senses are not inert as considered by us, but are sentient, and therefore they can be Atma, the latter being conscious. So in another school of philosophy, in the school means another sect in the Charvaka philosophy, first one said body, breath, mind, intellect, Atma and Jivatma and Paramatma, all are Atma. Second one, within them, that sect, they say that how can body be Atma? Then third one is saying the senses are the Atma. So there are a lot of different positions within them. Other schools of thought which consider Pranamaya Kosha to be the Atma is discussed. Let's look at that in our next class, in our tomorrow morning. So here what is taking place is refutation of the essential principle. So that our mind does not go into wrong directions and come to wrong conclusions. Sometimes it becomes very, very obvious for a person that, yeah, if someone says so convincingly, yeah, senses are the Atma, what else is there apart from senses? I only interact with the world on the basis of senses. If senses are not there, I am nobody. If all the senses are taken away, I won't know who I am. But you will still be there. So each one is taking his own standpoint and trying to convince. Vedanta takes all the standpoints into consideration, comes up with a discussion to refute them, to show to us, we are students of the truth, to show us that what is the shortcoming in that discussion, in that standpoint, and then bring you back to the original, which is the Vedantic standpoint. That is who you are essentially. You are not the body because it comes and goes. Our simple principle. You are not the breath because it comes and goes. You are not the thoughts because they come and go. You are not the I because it comes and goes. You are not the life because it comes and goes. You are the eternal one. Keep that in mind, and in that light, look at these various schools of philosophy, standpoints, and then you will be able to see the fallacy and the shortcoming in their discussions. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Hari Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.